So in Nathan's new collection of short stories, what we talk about when we talk about Anna Frank, in the title story, the big question is when you see, which I know very well, being a child of Holocaust survivor, is when you see somebody, would he have hid you in the Second World War? Like, would he have gone to the danger of hiding you in the Second World War? And I must say that like any second generation child, I'm always thinking about those things. And I'm happy to be with Nathan and Ophira, that are two of the people that I'm sure that would have hidden me, and that really is because I'm saying Nathan is a great writer, but he's a great person too, which is even more rare, especially among writers.
Thank you. Should I introduce you? I'll be the third introduction, just to keep up the yucky traditions that we've started the night with. I just think it's a very strange role for me to be here as moderator and translator. It's a brand new life for me anyway. But one thing that's really important, I think, is hearing a writer's voice. We're going to be in conversation tonight. And we both ran into each other like cross-eyed late coming from the airport. The iPad's not to be technological. There was no time to print. It's sort of a book tour thing. We were both wild-eyed. We're like, when's the last time you ate? When's the last time you showered? Those were our first two questions. And then we were throwing food in and trying to make a plan. Anyway, so that's just if I panic for questions, even though we've done this all over the world.
No, I must say that my condition is even worse than Nathan, because I've arrived on Sunday morning and they lost my luggage. It was on an El Al flight, so of course when you lose your luggage on an El Al flight and you go to the person who works in El Al, and I went there and I said, excuse me, but you've lost my luggage, and she said, you were not on the flight. And I said to her, but how did I get here? And she said, beats me. And basically since then, I got my luggage today. It's like after 4.5 days, and I didn't even have a jacket. And it arrived to Chicago. And basically every few hours, I would call them and they say, it's going to arrive in 3 hours. And then at some stage they called me and they said, it's here, it's in town, just tell us in what hotel in Frankfurt are you? And this being a reading tour, you don't have time for anything. You just drive you from one place to another, and you have this escort. And I began negotiating with my escort. So for example, I said, you know what? I'm not going to read if you won't get me clean underwear. And if you want a Q&A, I want socks too. So it was very difficult the past 4 days. Yeah.
You did your last tour in a shirt of mine, I remember, in New York, in fact. It's not the first time it's happened. Anyway, as moderator and translator, I just think it's so important, even though we're going to chat mostly about this kind of stuff. You will get nothing literary from us, I promise. We'll talk about style. I just think it's really important to hear a writer's voice. So we're going to ask Etgar, I'm asking Etgar to read a story in English, and then I'm going to read a short story of his in English that I translated, so you could hear his voice through my voice. And then finally, I also think, because I knew there'd be a lot of dovrei ivrit here, that we should, this is translation. It's a very beautiful thing about writing. It's actually unbelievably moving to me. I don't know what other art form where you can literally, when you think about it, it's so dizzying. When I think of most of the books that are close to my heart, it's very rare that I get to read someone in their original language. I love the Russians. I love German writers, French writers. It's literally, the fact that you can take every word from someone's book and replace it with another word, and you can still laugh at the same spot and cry at the same spot. That to me is just, one of the many reasons that I think fiction is just the supreme form. It's just this book of symbols. But I really think it's important that Etgar also read us a page in Hebrew after that. It'll all take, his stories are very short. It'll all be quick. But I just also want you to hear him in Hebrew so you know what he really sounds like.